Top 7 Shocking Amounts BTS will earn from the 2026 World Tour. Get ready, because the earth is about to shake, and your bank account might just feel the vibration. We are standing on the precipice of history, witnessing a phenomenon that transcends music and enters the realm of a global economic shift. Can you feel it? The purple ocean is rising once again. After years of silence, of solo journeys, and of the inevitable wait during their mandatory service, the Kings are finally reclaiming their throne. But this isn't just any comeback, it's a billion-dollar takeover. We're talking about the Arirang 2026 World Tour, a massive 79-show odyssey across 34 cities that is projected to rake in an eye-watering $1 billion in revenue. That is not a typo, $1 billion. It's a figure that puts them in the same stratosphere as the highest-grossing tours in human history. But have you ever stopped to wonder, amidst the flashing lights and the deafening cheers, how much that actually translates to for each individual member? How does the BTS effect manifest when you break down the merchandise, the VIP packages that cost more than a used car, and the sheer power of 7 individual icons reuniting as one? Who will see the biggest surge in their personal empire? Is it the leader who steered the ship, or the youngest who broke every solo record in the book? Are you prepared to find out which members' earnings are set to defy every industry logic you've ever known? Let's dive into the astronomical numbers that are about to define the year 2026. Number 7. J-Hope, the Golden Sunshine's platinum return. The energy is palpable, the bass is already thumping in our chests, and as we kick off this countdown, we have to talk about the man who literally defines the stage presence of this group. When J-Hope steps onto that 360-degree Arirang stage in April 2026, he's not just bringing his dance moves. He's bringing a massive financial momentum from his highly successful solo era that saw him headlining Lollapalooza and releasing critically acclaimed projects. Industry analysts are looking at the 2026 tour through a lens of unprecedented demand, with ticket prices for the Arirang tour starting at a base of around $65, but skyrocketing to over $2,500 for those coveted VIP diamond packages. Now, think about this. J-Hope is often cited as the group's performance director in spirit, and his influence on the high-energy segments of the show where the most exclusive merchandise is sold is undeniable. For every show in 2026, the revenue is projected to be so massive that even the 7th spot on our list involves figures that would make most CEOs blush. We are looking at a projected share of the touring pie that accounts for not just the ticket sales, but a staggering amount of Hope Edition tour merch that is expected to sell out within minutes of the gates opening. Remember, during the hiatus, Hybe's profits took a nearly 37.5% hit. The company is now banking on the collective power of members like Hobi to catapult them back to the top. With 79 shows on the calendar, the cumulative earnings for J-Hope from performance fees and his cut of the global merchandise sales are estimated to reach into the high tens of millions of dollars by the time the tour wraps up in Manila in 2027. It's a reflective moment for fans who remember the Red Bullet days when they played for a few thousand people. Now, Hobi is part of a billion-dollar engine where every Jack-in-the-Box style flair he adds to the performance translates into a literal gold mine. Can you imagine the sheer scale of the royalty checks from a 78-show run where 4.5 million people are expected to attend? It's not just a tour. It's the ultimate payday for the man who never stopped dancing. Number 6. Jin, the Silver Voice's multi-million-dollar echo effect. Moving up the ranks, we arrive at the eldest, the visual, and the man whose return from the military sparked a global celebration, Kim Seokjin. If you thought the momentum from 2024 was just a warm-up, think again. By the time the Arirang World Tour hits its stride in 2026, Jin is projected to be sitting on a mountain of gold that most solo artists can only dream of. Here's the real tea. During his solo era, Jin didn't just sit around. He smashed records with his Echo album, which peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200, and his solo fan concert tour, Run Sok Jin Ep Tour, and was a complete sellout, even filling the 8th floor restricted view seats at the Kyocera Dome. This established a massive solo power baseline before the group even reunited. Now, let's talk 2026 numbers. Experts are looking at the sheer Jin effect on the tour's bottom line. In every single one of the 81 confirmed shows, the demand for Jin-focused merchandise, think limited edition Wudio collectibles and high-end Silver Voice apparel, is expected to contribute to a massive chunk of the tour's $1 billion revenue. But wait, it gets deeper. Analysts suggest that because Jin was the first to return and re-establish his brand with high-profile variety shows and luxury endorsements, his individual per-show value has skyrocketed. We are talking about a guy who helped HYBE's stock price stabilize just by existing. For the 2026 tour, his earnings aren't just coming from the 79-plus stadium dates. They are boosted by the living legend and rooted in Korea physical album editions of Arirang that fans are hoarding by the millions. When you factor in the streaming royalties from his solo hits like The Astronaut and Don't Say You Love Me, that will undoubtedly be on the set list. Jin's individual take-home pay for this tour cycle is estimated to be in a whole different league. Every time he hits that high note in Epiphany or a new Arirang ballad, the digital meters are spinning. Imagine the emotional reflection. From a humble debut to being a key pillar of a tour that is projected to outperform Taylor Swift's economic impact in some cities, Jin is proving that being the eldest comes with a very heavy, very platinum-plated crown. Are you ready to see how the numbers climb even higher as we get into the rap line's massive production cuts? Number 5. Suga. The Dachwita King's producer, royalties in stadium reign. Hold on to your seats, because we've just entered the territory of the Min PD effect, and the numbers are getting absolutely legendary. When Min Yoongi, aka August D, returns to the stage for the 2026 Arirang World Tour, he isn't just coming back as a performer, he's coming back as a musical architect, whose financial blueprint is woven into the very fabric of the show. You have to remember, Suga was the last member to return from his service in June 2025, but his D-Day solo tour had already set a terrifyingly high bar, grossing over $57.2 million from just 28 shows. Now, multiply that intensity by a 79-date stadium run. In 2026, industry experts are projecting that Suga's individual earnings per show will be significantly bolstered by a dual income stream that other members don't share in the same way: songwriter and producer royalties. Every time the Arirang setlist hits a track he's produced, which is a huge portion of their discography, the digital royalty meters in Seoul and the US start spinning like crazy. We are talking about a man who has over 160 Kamka credits. For this tour, the 360-degree stage design allows for a massive capacity of roughly 60,000 fans per night, and with an average ticket price projected at $220, the gross per show is hitting $13 million. Suga's cut? It's not just the performance fee. It's his stake in the August DX Arirang exclusive merchandise, which includes high-end production gear and streetwear that fans are desperate to get their hands on. Think about the reflection here. This is the same guy who once had to choose between a bus ticket and a bowl of noodles in Daegu. Now, in 2026, he's sitting on a net worth estimated at $50 million, and this tour alone is expected to add tens of millions more to that pile. Whether it's his Valentino Global Ambassadorship or his NBA partnership, every facet of the Suga brand is being monetized at an elite level during this tour. When he stands under those flashing lights in Los Angeles or London, he's not just a rapper, he's a mogul. Can you feel the weight of that Min Stradivarius energy? But if the producer of the group is at number 5, who on earth could be commanding even higher figures? Are you ready to see which vocal line member is about to shatter the ceiling with their individual brand power? Number 4. Jimin, the brand king's luxury dividends and global charts takeover. As we move closer to the top, the numbers start to defy human logic, and we have to talk about the man who has spent more time at number 1 on the brand reputation charts than almost anyone else in history, Park Jimin. When the Arirang 2026 World Tour kicks off, Jimin isn't just a singer, he is a walking, breathing luxury conglomerate. Think about the facts. As of early 2026, Jimin has maintained his absolute dominance as the most influential K-pop idol, ranking number 1 in brand reputation for January 2026. This isn't just about fame, it's about cold, hard cash. During the 81-show marathon across 34 cities, Jimin's earnings are projected to be supercharged by his massive brand power. While the tour itself is expected to gross over $1 billion, Jimin's individual share is heavily boosted by his elite solo portfolio. We're talking about the artist whose solo album Face and Muse proved he could command stadium-level demand on his own. In the 2026 tour cycle, every time Jimin takes the stage, he is wearing the value of his global ambassadorships with Dior and Tiffany & Co. These aren't just titles, they are multi-million-dollar contracts that include tour appearance bonuses. Industry analysts estimate that for every show in major fashion capitals like Paris or New York, the Jimin Effect alone generates millions in earned media value, EMV. In fact, his presence at Fashion Weeks just months before the tour generated over $56 billion in media value. Now, imagine that power translated into tour merchandise. The Jimin-coded exclusive items from high-end jewelry collaborations to limited edition tour photo books are expected to be the highest-grossing individual member goods. With an average ticket price of $220 and a projected 4.5 million attendees for the total tour, the performance fees are just the beginning. Jimin's net worth is estimated to hit the $50 million mark in 2026, and a huge chunk of that comes from his stake in the tour's profit-sharing model, which rewards members for their individual brand contributions. Reflect on that for a second. From the boy who practiced dance until his bones ached in Busan, to a global icon whose mere mention in a 2026 social media post can move stock prices, his earnings from this tour are a reflection of a decade of perfectionism. He isn't just performing, he's presiding over a golden era of his own making. But if the brand king is at number 4, who could possibly be commanding more? Is it the leader who writes the anthems? Or the visual genius who has the world in a trance? Number 3. RM, the intellectual architect with explosive songwriting royalties. Now we enter the top 3, and this is where the numbers start to defy human logic. We are talking about Kim Namjoon, the leader, the philosopher, and the brain behind the lyrics that unite millions of souls. Why is RM ranked so high in terms of revenue from the 2026 Arirang World Tour? The answer lies in one word: intellectual property rights. While other members get a large share from performances and merchandise, RM has a secret weapon in the form of unmatched songwriting royalties. As the holder of more than 218 song credits at Komka, every time a BTS song resonates at the 81 shows in 34 cities, RM's coffers continue to fill automatically, even before he breaks a sweat on stage. Global music industry analysts project that RM's passive income during this tour alone could match the total income of many top artists worldwide. Imagine, with a tour revenue target of $1 billion, most of the concert setlist consists of works born from Namjoon's pen. Not to mention, his influence as an ambassador for art collections and luxury brands like Bottega Veneta adds an extraordinary prestige bonus. In 2026, RM's net worth is expected to skyrocket past $60 million, driven by sales of the album Arirang, for which he led the creative process. The most surprising detail is how the exclusive RM archive merchandise, themed around art and literature, is predicted to become the most sought-after collectibles with crazy resale prices. Emotionally, this is a reflection of his struggles since the underground era of Runch Randa, from a teenager who wrote lyrics in his school notebook to a billionaire whose words are worth millions of dollars a night. The atmosphere in the stadium when RM gave his closing speech was not just about music, it was a moment when the value of a leader's brand reached its peak. Every word he uttered in London, Seoul, and Jakarta strengthened the business empire he built on intelligence and integrity. However, if the mastermind behind all this is in third place, who are the last two figures capable of surpassing these astronomical numbers? Is it the deadly visual charm or the power of the golden Maknae that will break the world record? Number 2. V, the visual mogul's record, breaking endorsement empire. We finally arrive at the runner-up position, and the name that appears here is the Starlight of the Century, Kim Tae-young. If you thought tour revenue only came from ticket sales, V is living proof that this theory is completely wrong. In 2026, V is projected to be the member with the most significant net worth increase, estimated to reach $35 million to $40 million in just one cycle of the Arirang tour. Why? Because V has transformed himself into a walking asset for the world's most prestigious luxury brands. When he steps onto that magnificent 360-degree stage, he's not just singing, he's validating multi-million-dollar contracts with fashion giants like Celine and Cartier. The fact is that every time V is seen wearing something between tour dates, it sells out in seconds, an economic phenomenon known as the V Effect. Financial experts in Seoul note that for every concert in major cities like Stanford, Las Vegas, and Madrid, V pockets performance bonuses from private sponsors that can match the ticket revenue of another solo artist in one night. Imagine, with 79 shows planned, V's presence alone has generated millions of dollars in earned media value, EMV, for his partners. Not to mention, the success of his solo album Layover has provided a massive stream of streaming royalties that continue to flow steadily in 2026. The most surprising detail is that the exclusive V edition merchandise for the Arirang tour, which reportedly involves a design collaboration with a high-end brand, is the item with the highest profit margin in the entire merchandise booth. Emotionally, seeing V in 2026 is seeing an artist who has transcended the boundaries of a K-pop idol. He is a global lifestyle icon whose every move is worth its weight in gold. He is proof that visual charm, combined with smart business strategies, can create an unshakable financial empire. However, if V, who has such a huge influence on fashion, is in second place, who is at the top of the throne? Which member managed to break the record for the highest revenue in the history of BTS tours in 2026? Number 1. Jungkook, the golden multi-millionaire's billion-dollar era. And here he is, the main event, the golden Maknae who has evolved into a global pop phenomenon on par with a modern Michael Jackson Jungkook. Being ranked first is not just about popularity, but about absolute economic dominance in 2026. Consider this fact. The Arirang World Tour is projected to generate gross revenue of $1 billion, and Jungkook is the primary driving force behind that figure. Why? Because before this tour even began, Jungkook had already broken world records with his solo album, Golden, making him the first Korean artist to spend 16 weeks on the Billboard 200 and dominate Spotify Global for months on end. By 2026, Jungkook's market value will be in a different stratosphere. His earnings per night from 79 scheduled performances in 34 cities will not only come from ticket sales, which can reach $2,500 for the Diamond VIP package, but also from exclusive tour partner contracts with giant global brands such as Calvin Klein. Financial analysts predict Jungkook's net worth will soar past the $40 million mark immediately after this tour ends, making him one of the wealthiest young individuals in the global entertainment industry. The most spine-tingling detail is how Jungkook merch is predicted to contribute nearly 25% of the group's total merchandise sales, ranging from fashion items to digital collections that sold out in seconds. Emotionally, we see the reflection of a 15-year-old boy who came to Seoul with eyes full of dreams. And now, in 2026, he stands in the middle of a stadium filled with 60,000 people, leading a tour that saved his agency's economy and contributed 0.2% to South Korea's GDP. The atmosphere every time Jungkook performs Seven or Standing Next to You on the Arirang stage is no longer just a concert, it is a celebration of a historic musical victory. He is living proof that relentless dedication can transform a Maknae into a global king with millions of dollars in earnings per breath on stage. These astonishing numbers are just the beginning of the timeless legacy he is writing alongside his hyungs. So, after witnessing these world-shaking figures, are you ready to be part of history in the stadium seats? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates on the BTS World Tour 2026.